It's Matchday 26 picks edition of the Premier League Gambling Podcast on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network is brought to you by Underdog Fantasy. Sign up with the promo code PLGP to get a 50% deposit bonus of up to $1,000. We're also brought to you by Edge Boost. Earn up to $750 per month on your sports gambling transactions. Go to edgeboost.bet, promo code SGPN. And we're brought to you by Rhythm, the leader in data-driven picks and props. Get your 7-day free trial today by going to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/RITHMM. Welcome, everybody, to the Premier League Gambling Podcast on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network. My name is Malcolm Bamford, coming to you from Newcastle upon Tyne in the northeast of England. Today is Thursday, the 20th of February, possibly. We are here to have a little chat about the European midweek action that's just finished, with Shamrock Rovers going out on penalties to Molde. That was unfortunate. Before we get stuck into a full card of Premier League action, Friday through to Sunday, joining us, everyone recognises Mrs. Penaluna's conservatory. It is Mr. Barry Penaluna. Barry, what's happening?
All right, I'm good. For the first time in a while, I come here feeling fresh and vibrant and free of illness. My nose is functioning normally. I'm not coughing every 30 seconds. And I feel fresh, mostly because I am in my mum's conservatory, and it is about -2 degrees in here for some reason. It's always freezing cold in this room. It never gets used, so there's never any heat in here. So it's freezing cold, but the lighting's good in here. I think I look good in this conservatory, to be honest.
Mate, you look absolutely magnificent, Barry. Can I say? You're looking sound. Running late, but looking great, Barry. That's what they say.
Running late because I've been on the road. We set off from home 3.5 hours ago. Literally arrived 20 minutes ago, spoke to my mum for 10 minutes, and then I've had to bugger off into here to do this. So, nothing changes.
You had all the winners lined up previously.
I've been doing that in the car. That's been my 3 hours in the car, has been making some notes for this.
Fair enough. So if you do join us an hour late, that's why Barry's been driving. So we apologise for that. People who've been waiting since 10 p.m, include Callum. Andy was there early. Sorry about that. Joe can wait. We don't care about Joe. Who else is here? Michael's joined us. Courtney. I've got one mild female interest story later on, Barry. Courtney's here with Patrick, I imagine. Ian Lights Out has joined us as well. So if you're kicking around in the chat, by all means, put your head above the parapet, say hello, tell us what winners you've got this week. It's been a pretty standard week. I haven't got too much crack, Barry. I've sat in that corner and watched too much football. By the time the games finished last night, the extra time game, PSV Juventus, I was fucking drained. I was exhausted. I felt like I'd played. I had 3 stitches because we kicked off early on Tuesday with what was the early game? I can't remember.
PSG,
it was that long ago.
Was it PSG?
Yeah.
First one? Oh, mate, I can't remember.
It was forever. No, anyway. And then sat and watched all of that, and it was quite exciting. And then early yesterday, watched Dortmund all the way through, was flicking across, keeping an eye on Villa and Liverpool. So by sort of 10 to 11, when that final whistle went last night, I was Feyenoord the early game the other night. I was absolutely exhausted. I quite enjoyed it, Baz. I enjoyed the Champions League games. We said beforehand that some of them weren't too nicely poised or dramatic, but I actually quite enjoyed a few of them. There was a couple of dead rubbers, but there was some drama. We had the Bayern-Celtic game. Bayern got out of jail. Literally the last kick of the ball, the last accidental kick of the ball, got them out of jail. Feyenoord against AC Milan was dramatic. We had the red card and the equaliser for Feyenoord. PSV Juventus last night, extra time. All really good finishes. City getting battered was funny. I enjoyed that. There was a terrible week if you were Italian. Everybody got beat. Atalanta, AC Milan and Juventus. Everyone crying into their knocky over there, Baz. And then I enjoyed the Liverpool game. It was just a good game. It was a good Premier League game. Like, there was various sections of everyone, like always, wetting their knickers about it. But it was just a good game of football. Villa could have won if they'd kicked it in the goal. Liverpool could have won if they'd kicked it in the goal a bit more. And it was just a good game. Darwin Núñez, he looks like he's walking alone today, Barry. I thought he never walked alone if he played for Liverpool. Well, he's very much walking alone today because he's got absolutely slags off by absolutely everything. When he put that chance wide, I immediately messaged you saying, fucking hell, I'm looking forward to him scoring his third goal in the cup final. He's just storing them all up. 20-minute hat-trick in the League Cup final next month. And I think that was it. In terms of the games, Baz, not picks-wise, but the football was all right, wasn't it?
Yeah, some good stuff. I mean, you hit the nail on the head with the Liverpool-Villa game. Really good game. Similar to what we said about the Liverpool-Everton game the week before, where we said we didn't really give a fuck who won or how it ended up. It was just a good game, had a bit of everything. And
yeah, it was.
We've had quite a bit of it. The Premier League, from a betting point of view, it's hard at the minute. Really hard this season. But in terms of a spectacle, it's good every week. Like, at the moment, it's wide open. And you've talked a while about all these kingmakers, teams like the Fulhams and that, who can go out and make an impact against these big sides. I think the next few weeks is intriguing. But yeah, picks-wise, we've done okay. I think we're both 4-4. I messaged you. I said I felt like I should have done better because I was close on everything. The only thing I got massively wrong was the Bayern Munich one. AC Milan, Feyenoord, we absolutely nailed. You took the unders, and I took the both teams to score. We hit the 1-1, so we absolutely nailed that one. You laughed at me for taking Club Brugge to qualify, and I made a fool of you there because that was the easiest one of the week for me. And then, yeah, obviously, Benfica took the lead for us, sort of got off to a good start in that one, but then finished 3-3. I'm trying to think what other Dortmund should have won. You messaged me about that. I mean, they missed a penalty, goals disallowed. I mean, Sporting barely laid a glove on them. I don't know how they didn't win. PSG Brest was all right for me. And I thought I was doing all right in the PSV Juventus. You were on the overs, I was on the unders. 0-0 half-time. I was all looking rosy, and then it all unravelled in the space of about 15 minutes, didn't it? But yeah, I started with the City game. I was looking forward to that one, and then very soon realised that was dead. So I turned over and watched the Liverpool game instead. But I sneaked in at the end in the City game. I had the over 3.5 goals. I was furious at one point. They had that free kick on the edge of the box that was given. That was clearly in the box.
It's a penalty. Why did they not give that as a penalty, Barry?
VAR didn't even look at it. It was clear. I thought it was a soft foul. But if the referee thinks it's a foul, then VAR have got to say to him, that was in the box. And then I just couldn't understand why they didn't. So I said to you, I've been absolutely robbed here. And then fortunately, a minute later, Nico taps one in to make it 3-1 and nicks me in with me over 3.5. So a little bit fortunate with the late one. But yeah, a good week. A good week of football, some entertaining stuff. Hopefully more of the same this week. Looks a good card. Some good games, isn't there? I mean, Forest Newcastle got big implications in the European spots. Arsenal, who've Arsenal got this week?
West Ham is.
And obviously a chance for Arsenal with Liverpool and Man City there, potential slip up. So yeah, looks a good weekend. Again, not easy from a betting point of view at the moment, I feel.
Yeah, well, I went 4-4 as well. Feyenoord to qualify at +150. Offset a couple of odds on shots. So I finished exactly where I started. The one that killed me was Dortmund, because Dortmund should have won. Sporting didn't pick a very competitive team, then took all the best players off at half time. Then Dortmund missed a penalty, and that was the difference between getting to 10 units and profit and sitting on 8. It was the difference between 5-3 and 4-4. Callum's just said, congratulations on your Bayern Celtic pick. The only thing was with that, I had two smart arse players in the offset, because on the Tuesday I was really pleased with myself when that Bayern pick hit. I was going to open with how many goals is 2 goals, Barry? However, I then made the same play for the same reasons in the PSG game, and they won 7-0. So it very much finished on either ends of the spectrum. So it doesn't pay to get too far ahead of yourself on the Tuesday, because it came back to bite me on the arse on Wednesday. So I'm not quite as clever as I thought. My one little bit of female interest, Barry, as most people know, we both raised daughters. You raised more than me, but we're trying to spread our wings into the world of female interest issues. I had a little proud father moment last night. Is Aston Villa Liverpool was on the telly here, Baz. Betty came downstairs. She walked in. It involved Darwin Núñez, but it wasn't anything to do with that chance. Just as she walked through, Núñez had the ball on the edge of the box, and she stopped, looked at it, and she just went, "Too much fannying on, shift and hit it." And I was fucking like that. Yes, absolutely perfect. Perfect. Too much fannying on, shift and hit it. I mean, she's obviously heard me say that on about 25,000 occasions, but she was absolutely right. And then she walked back through with I think she'd got a drink to go. She went back through and just went, you had too many touches. Absolutely spot on. So there you go. So if any females do want to learn football, that's the sort of education you get listening to the Premier League Gambling Podcast. Right, okay. Let's read some adverts first, Baz, and then we'll get stuck into this Premier League. Gear up for March with Merch Madness, promo code Madness for 20% off in the SGPN store. Get in now before the promo code is done. Edge Boost. SGPN has partnered up with Edge Boost, the Premier Visa debit card for bettors. Edge Boost card allows you to avoid the hassle of having your card denied at the sportsbook, DFS site, sweepstake, racetrack, casino. Plus, you can earn up to $750 per month in cashback rewards. And you know your money's safe as the card is FDIC insured. The best part is no credit checks and it's completely free. Sign up today, use the promo code SGPN. You get better cashback rewards and instant Tier 2 status. That's edgeboost.bet, promo code SGPN. And mybookie.ag are your place to bet every sport. The live dealer casinos there, tons of locations accepted, easy deposit and fast payouts using crypto. Head to mybookie.ag, promo code SGPN for a 100% deposit match up to $1,000 plus a $10 casino chip. mybookie.ag, promo code SGPN. Right, we go on Friday night, 22 hours from now, 8 p.m. local time, 3 p.m. Eastern time. Leicester City take on Brentford. Leicester City are 5-2 plus 250. The draw is 5-2 plus 250. Brentford are even money. I stopped really quickly, Barry. Brentford are a fine price here. Leicester are absolutely woeful. They've lost 16 of their 24 games. They've lost 8 of 13 at home. They've lost 14 games against the top 11. 1-1 drawn. 14 games against the top 11. 1-1 drawn 1, lost 12. Brentford against the bottom sides. 1-8, drawn 2, lost 1. Leicester can't defend. Brentford can attack. Evens is an absolute giveaway. That was it. Stopped immediately, but I'm almost certain, knowing you, Barry, you'll have the same picker. You'll have looked at Brentford team total, but it was too short, and you'll have gone for Brentford at evens.
No, I took the shorty, to be honest with you.
Oh, did you?
No. Because I've just got a bit of a sneaky feeling about Leicester doing something this weekend. I don't know what it is. And as I say, it isn't backed up by the stats or anything. Realistically, you should be backing anyone against this lot at a price close to even. So I fully agree with your pick. Leicester lost 9 of the last 10 league games now. But I think the thing that's got in my head is they were okay against Arsenal for large parts of it. Played quite well, particularly in the first half. Similar against Man United in the Cup. And of course, they had the recent win over Spurs. So performance-wise, the last 3 games have been okay for Leicester. They haven't had the results, and they probably won't get a result here, but they might. I don't know. I've just got a horrible feeling at some point they're going to pull off a little bit of a surprise and get a win somewhere. And that was just enough to get me a little bit cautious with Brentford. Brentford have just had 2 back-to-back wins away from home, but beat West Ham and Palace. As I say, ultimately, I've gone down the same route. I've taken Brentford, but I did go for goals. It is a short price, as you say. The nine defeats in 10 games for Leicester, all 9 of them saw the opposition score 2 goals minimum. That's the problem for Leicester, is they can't defend, as you said. So it is a scary one. Brentford team total over 1.5, 8-11.
Pretty much co-signed by everyone here. Brentford moneyline for Callum, Brentford moneyline for Ian, Brentford team total for Joe, and Michael's kind of combined the over 2.5 and both teams to score. So we're all on the same page. Just when Brentford win this 3-0, it will be absolutely no surprise whatsoever. Second up, we go to Saturday lunchtime, 12:30 kickoff, 7:30 Eastern time, between Everton and Manchester United. I couldn't even say it without laughing. Everton 6-4 plus 150. Sorry, I didn't plan that giggle. The draw is 60-5 plus 320. Man United a 9-5 plus 180. I would urge the Everton board of directors to make sure the stationery cupboard's locked, or Sir Jim will be helping himself to some post-it notes and a roll of sellotape, something like that. So make sure everything's glued down, lads. Everton, Man United, but
yeah, even without playing this week, Man United have gave us more laughs, haven't they? With their accounts coming out and reporting that they're absolutely penniless, and they continue to send like £100 million a year to pay the Glazers back for their own loans. It's absolutely nuts. One team on the up, yeah. One team in the ascendancy. Everton fans reinvigorated under Moyes. The new stadiums give them another boost this week. They're all buzzing about the first game under the lights at the Bramley Moor. And another team here on the proper slide. And as I say, another week of bad news, even without playing. There's reports of players being fed up behind the scenes now with the system, feel like they're being hung out to dry, set up to fail. Fans are furious with the latest accounts showing how perilous their finances are. The direction of the two respective clubs in recent weeks and everything we've saw on the pitch in recent weeks from both sides just says you've got to back Everton. I'll take Everton to beat Man United at 6-4.
Yeah, I kind of feel like I have to stick to my Everton are rubbish guns, but they are, and they keep winning, so it's fine. They can be as rubbish as they want. If there's one team I'd fancy them to beat, it's this Man United team. Man United struggle against everybody. They struggle against teams that are good. They struggle against teams that are bad. But I'll tell you what they are going to struggle against is a team who are going to run around and kick 7 bells out of them and defend like bastards. And these 3 goals that Everton are going to score are going to be absolutely manky. They're going to be 3 of the worst goals you've ever seen. Total distance of 4 yards for the 3 goals Everton are going to score. Man U just can't defend set pieces. Everton can defend properly. And Everton will just want it more. The crowd are up for it. They had the final home game against Liverpool. This is a final home game against Man United. They'll absolutely go for it. The big man Bettor was getting on the score sheet, according to Michael. But I've just got the same pick, Baz. 6-4 plus 150. Man United have been absolute cash cows. And regardless of who's the opposition, 6-4 for them to get beat is a fine price. So yeah, I'll take Everton as well, Baz. Team right. 3 o'clock kickoffs, Courtney. Are you ready? There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Ooh, that's a lot. 5's good. Starting with Arsenal against West Ham United. Arsenal are short 7-26, minus 370. The draw is 5-1. West Ham United are 9-1. Arsenal fans, some people are getting a little bit excited that Liverpool have dropped some points and they're right back in it. The only problem is they've got 0 margin for error, Arsenal, and they will go and drop some more points at some point because that's what they've been doing. That's why they're behind. That's why they're 7 points behind, because they drop points every now and again. So the fact that Liverpool have got involved in a couple of good games and drawn them, really, Arsenal, the same thing's going to happen. Arsenal did exactly what they need to do to win games without a striker when they beat Leicester. They defended properly and they ground out the win. West Ham were poor against Brentford. They were toothless. I was disappointed in them. And all of that fits into the same narrative here. For a low-scoring Arsenal win, that's kind of what we handicapped last week, and we were right. And there's no real reason to change this week. Under 2.5 is a big price again. It's 5-4, plus 125. It was plus 130 against Leicester last week. So I was torn between that and a little bet builder. I've gone for the little bet builder, Baz, just because it takes in a couple more scorelines. I've gone Arsenal to win and under 4 goals is even money. So it gives us the 2-1 and the 3-0, just in case, you know what I mean, they get something late or West Ham can cause them a problem. So I did like the under 2.5, but a little safety net, Baz. Arsenal to win under 4 total goals. It's even money, Baz. It's a nice price.
Yeah, I don't mind that. I didn't like this game, to be honest with you.
No, me neither.
I think it's mainly the price for Arsenal. As I say, Arsenal are sort of boosted by the Liverpool draw through the week. And I've wrote down exactly the same thing. Arsenal can't afford to slip up anywhere now, but I feel a slip up somewhere is still inevitable at some point from this Arsenal side. Whether it's here or not, it is another matter. I mean, Arsenal have won the last 2 head-to-heads, 5-2 and 6-0, which doesn't bode well for West Ham. And West Ham are hardly pulling up any trees at the moment. But with Arsenal light up front, and as I say, they did have to leave it late against Leicester, I struggle to want to take Arsenal on handicaps, that they're a really short price. I mean, I took the -1.5 last week, and I was fortunate to get away with it with Leicester. It was really late for the second. The line this week's 1.5 and 2, so you'd have to push it further. And I just didn't fancy it. It was too tight for me, so I wanted to factor West Ham in here. West Ham have scored in 8 straight away games. I think they can get a goal here, and the both teams to score is a decent price. And Arsenal, only 1 clean sheet in the last 6 at home as well. So, you know, they're not keeping the same amount of clean sheets as they were at the start of the season. I'm just going to take the both to score here. It's a good plus money price. I think West Ham will get a goal. Arsenal might well nick it. But I will take both teams to score between West Ham and Arsenal, or Arsenal and West Ham even. It's 6-5.
I did kind of keep coming back to West Ham when I was looking for my underdog. 3 or 4 times I was drawn back to them. And I ended up taking the pick that I have. But it was just the way that they seem to think they're going to run through teams now, just because Liverpool have dropped some points, and it just hasn't been like that. West Ham won at the Emirates last year. If you remember, that was one of the games that really put a nail in Arsenal's coffin. So I did keep getting drawn back to it, but I will stick to my guns. Next up, at 3 o'clock, is Bournemouth taking on Wolverhampton Wanderers. Bournemouth are 3-5, -166. The draw 16-5 plus 320. Wolves are 4-1, Baz.
Yeah, this was another one where the prices are probably pushing us in a direction that I don't really want to go. I think Bournemouth are getting to a price now where they're getting hard at the back for me. They are on a ridiculous run, and Wolves have just lost 5 of their last 6 in the league. But I'm still going to make a case for Wolves here. Those five defeats for Wolves all came against sides in the top 6, which ironically is exactly what Bournemouth currently are. So that doesn't bode well, really. Not making a good case here. But I did feel that Leicester put up a decent fight recently. They played Arsenal and you know, ended up running out losers in the end, but a tight one. Played Liverpool again, could easily have come away with something in that one. And they did have the 2-0 win not long ago against Villa. So against decent sides, they've put up a bit of a performance at least. I still think Wolves are best equipped to beat the drop of the teams down there, Ipswich, Leicester. I think Wolves have got the best chance. They obviously need to start winning at some point to try and make that happen. But I'm going to take Wolves to get something here. How long can Bournemouth keep this up? I'm going to take Wolves double chance at 5-4. It's a bit of a hit and hope. But the Bournemouth price has just got too short for me now. I'm not taking Bournemouth at 8-13 against anyone. I'll have Wolves double chance at 5-4.
Bournemouth have kept this up for about 15 months. That's the issue. Since they won that first game last October, they haven't stopped. Like, But you're right. I wanted to factor Wolves in as well. I think they've been near in those couple of games. Bournemouth are in top form. The only blemish on their recent record is the loss against Liverpool, where they played very, very well. The last 3 wins, they've scored 12 goals. Their last home win was the 5-0 against Nottingham Forest. But I did want to factor Wolves in a bit here. They gave a good account of themselves against Liverpool. They scored once and they made a few big chances. This looks like an easy pick. Both teams to score over 2.5 is even money. So that does get us, if Wolves can nick it, if Wolves go and spring the surprise at 2-1, I'd be disappointed I didn't take it. But it covers it. And if Bournemouth do carry on their great run of form, I do think Wolves, like I said, they always look like they're going to score against Liverpool last week. So yeah, both teams to score over 2.5 is even money. And we've got the Cunha goal or assist at 5-4 for Michael. He was very, very good last week against Liverpool. Next up is Fulham taking on Crystal Palace. Fulham are 21-20 plus 105. The draw 12-5 plus 240. And Crystal Palace 27-10 plus 270. Back-to-back good wins for Fulham against Forest and Newcastle. That's a solid form line. You can't pick any holes in that. I don't think Palace are in the same category as Forest and Newcastle. They've got 1 win in 3, and it was against Man United, which, as we all know, doesn't count. They lost to Brentford. They lost to Everton. They were fairly decent comps. The 2 teams actually not as good as Fulham. And they've got a poor record against teams above them. They have got lots of draws in there. But Fulham are playing with a whole ton of freedom at the minute, and they can take advantage. I think Fulham can beat Palace here. We know I'm a sucker for these home teams, better teams at even money. I find it hard to get away from them. 21-20 for Fulham is big enough for me, Baz. I'll take that.
Yeah, I was tempted with Fulham. I don't mind your pick at all. Fulham quietly going about their business, going under the radar a little bit, but lost only 2 of their last 15 games now. 4 of their last 5. Won the last 3 games, all 2-1 as well. That was what I noticed. Palace aren't in bad form themselves, particularly on the road. Palace's away form, they've got no defeat in 5, and they've just won 4 away games in a row. All of them 2-0, as it happens. I got to the point where I didn't want to take either side. I would have been close. I've had gun to my head. I would have taken Fulham like you. But I think it's a good enough one for goals. 8 of the last 10 Fulham games have went over 2.5 goals. I think both sides will be involved here. I'll take the over 2.5 goals at even money. It's not very often we get even money for goals in the Premier League at the minute. So,
you're right.
Fulham v Palace.
That's it. I like that.
Yeah, Fulham Palace over 2.5. Cheers.
We move on, and I've told you about Underdog. Underdog Pick'em, NBA, NHL, college basketball. You can cash in with Underdog Fantasy Pick'em. Sign up with our promo code PLGP to claim a special pick and first-time deposit offer up to $1,000 in bonus cash. UnderdogFantasy.com, promo code PLGP. And Rhythm, the #1 AI-powered sports betting platform that helps provide bettors of all levels the ability to build custom predictive betting models in seconds, build your own model, copy one of the top performing models, or have Rhythm build a model for you. NBA, golf, college basketball, Rhythm's got it all. Claim your 7-day free trial by going to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/rhythm. That's sportsgamblingpodcast.com/RITHMM. Next on the card is a 3:00 kickoff between Ipswich Town and Tottenham Hotspur. Ipswich are 14-5 plus 280. The draw is 5-2 plus 250. Tottenham 19-20 minus 105. Baz, this is you.
Yeah, Ipswich still find wins hard to come by, aren't they? But they're still hanging on there. I'm surprised every time I look at the league to see Ipswich are still with a chance of getting out of relegation, because I can't remember them winning many games. Well, they haven't won many games, but they're just fortunate Wolves and Leicester are doing the same thing. I think, obviously, they were good result last week, 1-1. showed a lot of resilience, down to 10 men for a large part of that game. A lot of that was down to keeper who had a blinder. Spurs have won back-to-back league games, but still haven't been impressed with them. I mean, against Man United, I mentioned any other side would have scored at least 2 or 3 against Spurs in that game with the chances Man United created. They continue to look vulnerable at the back. I know they are getting players back, and that will make a difference for Spurs. But I just wasn't bold enough to take either side here against Spurs away from home at odds on. I can't be having that still at the moment, back-to-back wins or not. So goals is where I've gone. My first thought here was both teams to score, but I was surprised it was as short as it is, 1-2 for both teams to score. But you can tag on the over 2.5. Spurs will always concede, won't they? I'll take both teams to score and over 2.5 goals at 4-5.
The scientific analysis from Andy, the same as every week. Spurs are gash, which is fair enough. Ipswich are within 2 points of Wolves after that 1-1 draw with Villa last week. It was only their second point in 6 games, so the home record's horrific. They've won 1 of 13. However, it's Dr. Tottenham, so everything is possible here. 2 wins in a row. Performances were still dodgy. And you said on the show last week, Baz, they did give up a ton of chances against Man United. This game does fit the system of fading Tottenham. You said you can't back them at odds on. I completely agree. This system owes us nothing. And, of course, Ipswich did win at Spurs earlier in the season. But just in case Spurs nick this 3-2, I'm going to take the Ipswich team total. Over 1.5 Ipswich goals is 11-8, plus 137. Tottenham still can't defend. They were also, I know we took the piss out of Kimski, the goalkeeper. They seemed really excited that Vicario was coming back, but he still just looks like the old balloon man outside of a car showroom. I just don't see it. So him coming back means nothing. Means absolutely nothing. Yeah, Ipswich can get a couple of goals here. Also, bear in mind, Ipswich, every time I've picked them, they've shafted me. I've gone for Ipswich far too many times this season with absolutely zero to show for it. So that's why I factored in the 3-2 Tottenham, because that's going to be the final score. But we'll take Ipswich to get a couple of goals. Final 3 o'clock on Saturday is a South Coast derby between Southampton and Brighton and Hove Albion. Southampton are 19-4 plus 475. 3-1 the draw. Brighton 4-7 minus 175. Southampton are in a really nice run of both teams to score over 2.5. 5 in a row now for Southampton. They seem quite happy to get beat as long as the opposition lets them mince about and have the ball a bit. That's all right. As long as you don't beat us 3-1, we're quite happy with that. Brighton, pretty inconsistent, but good against Chelsea in the last 2 weeks, where one of them being an FA Cup game. And they concede enough as well. It's another both teams to score over 2.5 goals, Baz. It's only my second one. I know you've put out a couple as well, where this one's 9-10, minus 111. Brighton will win this 3-1.
Yeah, I mean, you hit the nail on the head with Southampton being happy to lose 3-1 because it seems to be 3 goals every bloody week they let in. Good couple of weeks for Brighton, back-to-back wins over Chelsea. A nice price both times. Not such a nice price this week, but following on from those two, really hard to move away from Brighton here. Southampton have lost 7 of the last 8 league games. And the last 5 defeats I looked at have all seen them concede 3 or more goals. So I can see opportunities for Brighton here. 13-8 Brighton team total over 2.5 isn't a bad shout. But the safer pick for me, I think Brighton can go and get 3 goals. Should cover the handicap. Brighton -1 Asian handicap is even money. So Brighton need to win by 2 to cash it. But you get your money back if they win by 1. So I'll take Brighton on the Asian handicap -1 against Southampton.
Yeah, the 3-1 is a winner, Barry. It's time for the real reason everyone's joined in and listened to 35 minutes of this rubbish, Barry. We are approaching the vinegar strokes in battleships. You've got my submarine. I've got your, I believe it's called a cruiser, Barry, to get. It's neck and neck. It is -110 each of two, and it's your turn, Barry. Where are you going?
I thought about this the other day, and then I forgot what I thought. So, let's do it.
Behind the curtain there.
C1.
That, Barry, is a miss. Right then, here we go. I'm thinking you've got to, if I take that, it eliminates at least those. I've got to go, Barry. I9.
Miss.
Shit, fuck, shit, twat.
Talked about this in the car tonight, Malcolm, with the family. What? Talked about this in the car tonight with the family.
Oh,
and
what?
There's a lot of concern because you are a notorious sports cheat.
That's true, yeah.
Well, we are at the point now where you could very much be just moving your boat around your board at every opportunity. So I am a little bit concerned about that, I'll be honest.
I've got a photo, Barry, that I took when we first started playing, which is time-stamped.
Yeah, well, Helen said we should have enforced that at the beginning. She said you should have been made to take a photo with that day.
And I just thought you could then put the video back and then pause it. But are you ready? There it is. Right. Yeah, so that's timestamped, so you can shut up.
I mean, right, you are the least trustworthy person I know.
Oh, you'll get no arguments from me, Barry.
I was going to say, you wouldn't even disagree with that.
Shyster of a man. So, yeah. But I don't know what else to tell you. You're the one playing with me. Ian likes that we put the S on the end of battleships. That's what it's called, isn't it? No, actually, no, it's not. It says battleship on the top of there.
Yeah, interesting. Never knew that.
Interesting. Oh, well, we've been adding an unnecessary S, Barry, this entire time. Let's be honest, the entire thing's fairly unnecessary. Next up is a tea time on Saturday, kick-off between Aston Villa and Chelsea. 5:30 kick-off, 12:30 Eastern Time. Aston Villa are 17-10 plus 170. The draw 12-5 plus 240. Chelsea 6-4 plus 150. This is you, Baz.
Yeah, Chelsea still struggling at the moment. Just 2 wins in 9 league games now. That's going to happen if you haven't got a striker and you haven't got a competent goalkeeper, which continues to be the case. So yeah, on the road as well, away from home, no win in 6 now. Which doesn't bode well for them here. Now, Villa's form hasn't been great either. And I've been happy to fade Villa plenty in recent weeks and done okay out of it. They've got no win in 5 league games now. But there is a bit more of a positive spin if you look at the home form in isolation for Villa. They've not lost in 13 games at home. Gave a really good account of themselves through the week against Liverpool. They freshened things up in January, and I think they have looked a bit better in the last couple of weeks. I just think with these two almost a match on the books, you've got to favour Villa at home here. I think Villa to win at 13-8 is a fair price. I'll take Villa at 13-8. I think if you were looking for a bit of a safer play, take a bit of insurance, you could take the draw no bet. Can't see Chelsea winning. Draw no bet's 5-6. But the pick for me will be Villa to beat Chelsea 13-8.
Same pick, Baz. 100% the wrong team's favourite here. Absolutely. Chelsea are way out of form. They've got no striker. They haven't got a goalkeeper. They're just a bit of a mess. The coach looks a little bit bereft of ideas. Villa looked okay against Liverpool. They're very competitive at home. The new players look like they've improved them a little bit, and they've just given them a few more options as well. Obviously, they lost Duran, but they look lively going forward, and I think they'll have too much. I just think, regardless of the final outcome, the wrong team are favourite. You have to pick Villa. So Villa at 17-10 plus 170. Game early on Sunday, 2 o'clock kickoff, 9 a.m. Eastern Time, is Newcastle United taking on Nottingham Forest, a game we were both going to be at, but you've possibly changed your mind. But Newcastle are 4-5, minus 125. The draw 11-4, plus 275. Forest 16-5, plus 320. This was really tricky, Barry, for several reasons. The first reason is that they both lost last week. The second reason is that I lost picks on both of them last week. So I've got no confidence really coming into either. I've got no confidence in either team, and I've got no confidence in my reading of either team. And we've been burned with this Forest game already last year. Remember, we had that farcical Chris Wood hat-trick last week, when then I had to go and show my Nottingham Forest mates around Newcastle with a smile on my face for 4 hours after they dicked us 3-1. It's hard to feel confident about getting a read on Newcastle at all after that terrible display against Manchester City last week. Plus, I've been at the last two home defeats against Bournemouth and Fulham. Forest have lost 2 of the last 3, including the last 2 away games. And they've lost 3 of the 5 away games against the top 7 teams. Those 3 games that they lost, Barry, they lost 3-0, 3-0 and 5-0. So uncompetitive. We know Newcastle always play well at home against these top 4 teams. So I'm going to take a big personal risk that Newcastle can bounce back here. I also messaged Nibs, our resident Forest fan, to ask him if he was coming up. And he said no. And I'll tell you what he said here. We've been bang average for a few matches. He's insisting on not playing a horrible midfielder, Yates or Dominguez, and the teams are exploiting the spaces. Also, our rock-solid defence from early on in the season has been leaky, and we peaked with that 3-1 Chris Wood show last season. Not going to happen, is it? So, Forest fan, our Forest expert is on Newcastle as well. I'm going to take Newcastle on the money line, Baz 4-5.
Yeah, it's a big old game this for both teams. Top 5 hopes. It looks like top 5 will be enough now for Champions League, particularly with Italian sides falling at the first hurdle in the knockout stages. A win for Forest here would almost certainly see them finish above Newcastle this season. I think crucial for Newcastle, it feels, particularly with Chelsea and City having tough games this week. It feels like a big opportunity, one we can't really afford to let slip. Hard to know what you see from Newcastle this week. One thing is for sure, we can't afford to have one eye on the cup final for the next few weeks. Really need to put an effort in here. The head-to-head form v Forest is good. You mentioned the 3-1, but that's only 1 out of 5 league games between the two sides since Forest come back to the Premier League. Newcastle won the other 4. We also knocked them out the League Cup earlier in the year. So we've got a decent record against Forest generally. Obviously, Forest not to be taken lightly, but they have lost 2 of the last 3 and were taken to pens by Exeter in the Cup. So, as you've mentioned from Nibs, a little bit shaky lately. Same as you. I mean, we get our fingers burned from time to time with Newcastle, but I've done exactly the same. Newcastle to win is 4-5. I think we'll bounce back here.
Well, we've well and truly mushed that, Baz, haven't we? Big old mush. Everybody pile on Forest. It is a done deal. I'm not entirely sure how we've got through these games so quick, Baz. I've just checked that we haven't missed one out, but we haven't. We got down to the last game here. Inside 45 minutes, might be a personal best. The game of the week on Sunday afternoon, 4:30 kickoff, 11:30 Eastern time, is Manchester City taking on Liverpool. Man City are 17-10 plus 170. The draw 11-4 plus 275. Liverpool 23-17 plus 135 favourites. Baz, tricky. What do you think?
Tricky, but a very quick one for me. So again, we'll rattle through this one fairly quick because I've got here. I mean, I took the over 3.5 in the City game the other day. 11 of City's last 12 games have gone over 3.5 goals. Liverpool games have gone over 3.5 in 9 of their last 13. We just saw them have a 2-2 draw with Villa, 2-2 draw with Everton. And I just thought, don't overcomplicate this. City will no doubt let in goals against Liverpool, but I would be quite happy, I would be convinced they'll get at least a goal themselves. I think the over 3.5 at evens has got to be the pick. It's just goals every week with City at the moment. So I'll keep it simple. City v Liverpool, over 3.5 goals at evens.
I'm really not inclined to back either team on the money line. City just aren't up to the better teams at the moment, not even close. Like I say, I'm going to put a line through that Newcastle game last week because I don't know what the fuck it was from our point of view. But just City on up to that standard. They haven't got what it takes to beat anybody good. And Liverpool look vulnerable. 2-2 away draws. 2 Desmonds in the last 2 away games. And in both of those games, they were second best for periods of that game. Everton and Villa both got amongst them here. It has to be goals, Barry. I think I might have learned this from you, this pick. Both sides are odds on. Both sides are minus money to score twice. Over 3.5 goals. Barry is my pick at even money. I think it's a really fair price. I also might have a little nifter on the Liverpool team total over 2.5. We've done this a lot. Madrid 100-30 2 weeks ago at the Etihad. 11 away with the 13 away, something like that this week. Cashed again. 12-5 plus 240 is the Liverpool team total. But yeah, over 3.5 goals, Baz, will be my play. Solid 47 minutes, Barry. Lock, dog, corned beef pie. Do you want to go first?
Yeah, I'll crack on. I've got no ladder this week, which might be disappointing, but I haven't done very well. Struggled to get far up the ladders in the recent weeks. So,
Barry, it's not about you.
Well, I just ran out of time in the car, to be honest. So I have got everything else.
Shite that. You've got 13 minutes.
If I can come up with a ladder, I'll put a short out for the YouTubers.
Your last show.
My lock this week will be Fulham to beat Palace. Fulham v Palace over 2.5 goals at even money is going to be my lock. My underdog, not many this week, but I'm going to take a punt on Wolves beating Bournemouth at 4s as an underdog. Just got a sneaky feeling for Wolves this week. My scorer is going to be Matoma, 5-2 anytime, 8-1 first or last. Anyone against Southampton's worth taking a punt on. Great goal from Matoma last week. I'll let you throw yours out and then I'll chuck my hackers at you.
Okay, my lock's going to be Brentford. Going to ruin the weekend with a Friday night lock. Mahatma Gandhi, notorious for not wanting anyone to back the early game. He'll be furious with me because I'm going Friday night with my lock. Brentford will turn Leicester over. My dog is just a titchy little puppy, Barry. Aston Villa. It's 17-10 plus 170. Wrong team's favourite there. And my anytime goal scorer. It's time, Barry. It's time. There's a player at Villa, Marcus Rashford, he's called. He used to be quite good. And then he stopped running around, refused to run around for 18 months, which is a drawback. He's done all right. It's coming, and it's coming this week. He's going to score against Chelsea. He's 17-2 plus 850 first and last. 12-5 plus 240 anytime goal scorer for Rashford. Baz, accumulators?
Yeah, my corned beef pie hackers just an over 2.5 treble. I've gone for the Bournemouth v Wolves game, Fulham v Palace, and Man City v Liverpool comes in at 7-2. And my steak and Stilton hacker is a little treble. It's not quite an underdog treble because, I've got Everton in there who aren't underdogs. But I'm going to take Wolves again as an underdog. Everton to beat Man United and Villa to beat Chelsea comes in around 33-1. So Wolves, Everton, Villa all to win 33-1 is my big long shot hacker for this week.
I think we're running out of time to hit a steak in Stilton, Baz, because the whole plan was we need to hit one each all season, and we haven't done it yet, have we?
No.
My corned beef pie, Barry, is at over 2.5 4-timer, and I thought you were going to throw out the same games, but you haven't. So we've got 6 different games covered here, so it might be worth going for the 6-timer. I've got over 2.5 goals in the games at Leicester, Bournemouth, Southampton, and Villa, and that's 21-4 plus 525, so that's a decent price. And for my steak in Stilton, over 2.5 team total, Brentford, Brighton, and Liverpool, all to score 3 goals or more, pays 30-1, Barry. That'll get us over the line. Have you found a ladder, Barry?
No. I haven't even looked.
You haven't looked? You just said you were going to look.
I didn't. I said if I found one, I'd put it out on short. You can't just find a ladder and put it out with any confidence in the space of 90 seconds.
Of course you can.
Whilst talking at the same time as well, that was never going to work. So no, at the moment there is no ladder. I'll put a ladder out. It will be on YouTube tomorrow. There will be a ladder.
You're an absolute shithead, Barry.
I'll put it on
right. Well,
I'll put it on Twitter as well. For those who don't listen to YouTube, I'll put it out on Twitter also. So keep an eye out.
Okay. Anything else you want to tell us about weekend? You're going to that gig tomorrow, the Raytons, aren't you?
Yeah, I got a bit of Tory scran tomorrow afternoon. I'm going for lunch. I bought my mum a lunch for Christmas present because I couldn't think of anything else. I've come down here tonight and she's twisting on. She doesn't fancy it. She doesn't really. Oh, what's on the menu?
Pattern Barry with your present buying here. It's very. I mean, I'm not having a go because I'm a terrible, lazy present gift buyer. But vouchers and tickets, mainly for things I don't have to go to. That's why. But your vouchers and tickets for things that you want to go and eat, and then making someone else go with it. It's a nice system, but
it is good. But yeah, it turns out she doesn't want to go, so it might end up me and Helen. She doesn't. My mother doesn't fancy it. You know, screw the 50 quid I've spent on a lunch for her. But
Mrs. P's pied you right off there. She's not having it.
She was telling us she wanted to go somewhere nice for lunch, and now she's looked at the menu and said, I don't really like that. Oh, I don't really like that. Oh, for fuck's sake.
Well, I'll go if you want, Baz. I've got no qualms at all about not going to work tomorrow. So give us a shout. I can drop it like it's hot. Well, have a lovely time, and then have a lovely time at the gig. And then we'll see what the crack is on Sunday with the football champion. Thank you, everybody in the chat. The chat was fun. You all make me laugh. That's what Courtney would say. We'll be back. Who knows? Sunday, Monday. I don't know what's on next week. I do know what's on next week. There's full Premier League Tuesday and Wednesday and Thursday. So we'll have to do it at pace on Monday tea time, probably. Whoa, just on time, Barry. Berdirium's joined us from Uzbekistan. You've missed the entire show, Berdirium. We've been worried sick about you, but go back and watch it. Hello, hope you're having a lovely time. Anything else, Baz?
No, that's it from me.
That's it from Barry. Right, champion. Have a great weekend, everybody. Good luck with all your bets until Monday night. We will see you all down the road. Cheers.